do you give up the fight? The answer to that is as different as every person on the planet, I suppose. What I'm referring to in part is what Alan referred to in that very inspiring, inspirational that you provided. As I was listening to him, he was talking about finding what it is that you can comfortably and righteously commit to, and focusing on that so that in turn all the other veils of misinformation or competing priorities that you think are priorities kind of fall away, so that you can clearly focus on what you hold out for yourself is a good, a positive, an enriching goal that is not only good for you, but is good for those that you include in your life. That's important. I mean, positive goals are hard enough to come by. They're very difficult to commit to long term. Everybody's had that experience where on January 1st I'm going to lose 25 pounds, I'm going to run a marathon, da-da-da-da-da. All right, talk to me in October. And how much weight have you lost? How are you doing in preparation for the marathon? And there's a lot of ways to do that. Bicycling is one of the ways that you can get ready for a marathon. I had to use it, sorry. Bicycling is one of the ways that you can do it. But whatever else you do, it's important to keep all of your activities in balance, right? Right. Okay, now, I'm going to jump on Kamal's speech. Because Kamal was talking about a program that is good for the person, long and short term. It's good for the community, and it's good for society at large. And if I understood the process of this program correctly, it is a short-term intervention that's meant to get people on their feet and eventually give them what they need so that they can comfortably be kicked out of the nest and reassume a position in society. Is that pretty much right?
Yes.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. What's our role as a club? This question comes up because there's also been a question from Marilyn about how do I get my advanced communication and my advanced leadership goals met? How do you get them met, Marilyn?
Of the Toastmasters. Follow the guidelines and you set goals to make.
But more importantly, I think, part of becoming a true leader in this club is to accept leadership positions outside of the club. There's 3 stages to getting a distinguished Toastmaster, if that's your goal. But even if it's not your goal, it's a good thing to go out there to be that pioneer for your own communication skill building and bring back the lessons that you've learned. Because we can either all recreate the wheel of progress in our Toastmaster endeavors individually and not having a path laid out for us, or we can have people that go out and accept leadership positions in areas, in divisions, in district, and have them come back and say, well, you know, you might be going down the wrong path, this is what you need to do, this is who you need to talk to, and this is when you need to get the application for these things put in place. Why am I telling you this? Because I'm going to do it bad here, okay? Everybody know that what I'm doing is wrong. I'm going to turn my back to you while I write some stuff on the board. Okay. First, I'm just going to go over the Toastmaster organization. We have Toastmasters itself, Toastmasters International, and underneath that you've got regions, I don't know, Mark, how many regions are there? 7, 8, 20? Yeah. Okay, and then underneath the regions, you've got different districts. What district is this club in?
39.
Very good. Districts, and then we're in 39, right. And then underneath districts, you have divisions. What division are we in?
H.
H. See, I would have said E because I used to be Division E governor. That's my default. And then under divisions, you have areas. What area is this club in?
85.
Bingo, 85. And then the clubs. It doesn't look that big, does it?
6.
It doesn't look too big, huh? How many members are there in this particular area? Hundreds. Hundreds. When you consider, well, yeah, when you consider that there are, on average, 5 or 6 clubs in each area. Sometimes as few as 3 and 4, but typically it's about 5. Okay, and each club would have about 20, ideally 20 members. So let's say that's 100 people per area. Okay, and then how many areas are there in a division? Susan? How many areas are there?
4 or 5.
About 5, about the same number.
Well, 4 or 5.
So that's 100.
Like the Division
Times-
H has 4. Division H has 4.
Okay, but on average, typically about 5. Okay, so there we are, up to 500. And then in district, how many divisions are there in district?
7.
A through H.
A through H.
A, B, C, D,
With an
F, G,
eight?
H.
8. Okay, so there's 4,000. And these are just round numbers, granted. But as important as participation in leadership and active membership is at club level, look at what you gain by going up and exposing yourself to district. Because, and by being in district, you're also going to be exposed here, because up in district they always talk about powers that are. And that's a good thing. We're looking for leadership not only in our club, but division and area and district. Now is the time to volunteer to do these positions. And for God's sake, don't worry about getting it perfect, because there is no perfect. There is your personality, there's your particular style, and there's your way of making things happen for the better of the entire organization. So if that's where you're coming from, then let the veils drop, make it happen. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Jerry. And again, we have 1 minute, plenty of comments about Jerry's speech.